Alright, today we're going to have a look at the Goblin Shark, which has one of the more unusual abilities of the last batch of new pets. It's kind of like the opposite of a whale, so it's going to swallow a unit from the opposing team at start of battle, and then when it faints, it's supposed to spit that unit out. However, with the setup we have going here, with seaweed on the Goblin Shark, what actually happens is the Goblin Shark turns into a sea urchin and the pet that was inside the Goblin Shark just disappears forever. So this is the standard combo that you see most people going for with Goblin Shark early on. It just makes a lot of sense because seaweed is a low tier perk, so you can very easily set this up. And honestly, the Goblin Shark ability by itself isn't that great. You could play it at the back of the team in order to try and hopefully survive the whole battle and therefore not spit out the unit. But yeah, it doesn't often work out. However, my plan for this run was to try and make the Goblin Shark swallow something and make it disappear at start of battle. So there won't be any requirement for the Goblin Shark to actually get to the front of the team with the seaweed intact. Because oftentimes the seaweed is going to get overwritten by, ailments from the other team. Sometimes the Goblin Shark will just be sniped and the pet that it swallowed will immediately be spit back out. So yeah, the goal here is to make it work at start of battle, and we can do that using a couple of units. One is the Pelican, and then the other one is another new unit, the Cuckoo. So we'll see it in action fairly soon, but you can see here we end up facing a bat team, which results in the seaweed being removed. So actually we end up spitting the fringe head back out onto the opposing team. But because of the weakness, we end up winning since the fringe head gives us a 1-1 lynx. So what I'm going to do here is bring in the Pelican, give the strawberry to the flea, and then I think we'll go for a second flea, yep. Unfortunately, this run was recorded when I ran out of hard disk space, so we're going to have to suffer the replay system today. That doesn't happen very often, but yeah, it's just one of those things where unfortunately this decent run happened to occur when I had no disk space left. So we're going to level up the Pelican because we actually needed to swallow two different things. We needed to swallow the flea and also the Goblin Shark. I guess actually we don't need it to swallow the flea, I just want that to happen because it's going to help us win, I think. As it does here. So the idea is once we have everything set up, we'll put a second strawberry onto the Goblin Shark, and that will mean that the Goblin Shark swallow followed by faint will all happen at start of battle. So here we get the Cuckoo, we get the strawberry jam to put onto the Goblin Shark. We don't need level ups on the Cuckoo. So I'm just going to freeze the perks for the elephant seal. So you can see what happens here. It all fell apart because they ended up sniping the Cuckoo, but that was the correct setup. We just need the Cuckoo to survive. So we'll take the level up on the elephant seal. Standard practice to try and get an odd combo over the line is to use elephant seal. And you can see how it's going to work here. So we swallow the reindeer, the Cuckoo chick gets fired onto the opposing team immediately, and then the reindeer gets launched off the screen. So basically working out perfectly. The only issue here is that we ended up swallowing a unit that had pretty bad stats anyway. So ideally what you would really want is some kind of stat reduction instead of having to use the elephant seal. I will show a clip of that at the end, where I had a slightly different team. So the unit at the front of this team had 12 health, which means that the Goblin Shark is going to work on it. It actually has a restriction that it can only swallow units of a certain health, which I guess is fair enough, because otherwise it would be probably a bit too strong. But we are going to beat this Leviathan team, which is nice to see. So there's not much we can do to improve the team here other than just buy perks onto the elephant seal, and then hopefully get a level 3 Goblin Shark. At level 3, I think it will swallow a unit of 18 health or lower, so that should give us a better chance of actually being able to steal something from the opposing team. So here we do swallow the cat. It's not a very big unit again though, so it's not really the most spectacular synergy. It would be nice to have, you know, a level 3 skunk or a kraken or something like that in order to make the Goblin Shark swallow something that would be a bit more valuable. But yeah, when you're going for an awkward combo like this, you really can't insist on everything being completely perfect. But look at this opponent. We actually end up swallowing the Triceratops at the back. So now the Lamprey has nothing to synergize with, and it's just going to hit its own team. In fact, it's actually going to knock out the Stego and the Cuckoo Chick and keep on hitting the Tiger until we take the win. So yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of footage to use for this particular run, but we can look at another clip here where I do have the level 3 skunk, and I think everything is set up. We just don't have the level 3 Goblin Shark yet. However, I do manage to roll 2 in the shop there. So here we actually reduce the behemoth down to 1 health, and then the Goblin Shark swallows it, the Cuckoo Chick goes on to the other side, and then the behemoth flies off screen. So that's basically the ideal scenario. Of course, this run ended up falling apart not long after that. Now here are some more Goblin Shark clips. The other type of run that I was going for with this was trying to have a game where 4 units on the opposing side were swallowed and removed from the game completely, which seems like it would be possible, but it's incredibly unlikely. And yet look at this one here. We end up facing this team that has the boats, and it actually works out that we end up removing 4 of their units from the board. I don't know how many games I played trying to get this, but it was a lot. And I think that was the only round where I won and removed 4 of their units from the game completely. Actually, the next round, we end up removing 4 as well. However, I think what happens here is because of the hippo's regeneration ability, even with the health reduction from the tiger plus seaweed, it actually ends up being a tie. So those were the 2 best rounds I managed to get, but there were some other crazy rounds that happened. And here's another one against the hippo team. So the Goblin Shark removes a unit. Then we get Orca from the popcorn, which turns into Fringe Head, which puts a Phoenix on their side. And then the Phoenix hits all of their units. So I think, I could be wrong, but I think that was the only way to get a tie here, was for the Phoenix to put all 3 crisps onto the opposing team. And this is another crazy round. We swallow 3 units. They've actually got Chili on the dung beetle here. And then we actually have a chance here to win if the ant hits one of the other 2 front ants, I think. But or maybe it was only one of the ants. But unfortunately ends up being another bizarre tie. So I think in the end here I end up just going for level 3 Goblin Shark. It's probably too late here to hope for getting a second Goblin Shark set up. So we're just going to go with Tiger Kraken. And we do end up swallowing 2 very big units there at the front of their team. And I think, yeah, the mushroomed anteater is going to do enough to get rid of this baboon. Yep. So that puts us on 9. And yeah, we do have a very, very fragile team. We can easily be completely wiped by a whole variety of different opponents. So I'm just going to take the popcorn, probably on both tigers. Yep. And then we'll just freeze the tiger in case it ends up being a tie or a loss. And an absolutely massive statted team here with the rabbit plus food pets. However, again, I think the mushroom anteater is going to do good stuff. Yeah, the ant hit lands on its fellow ant, and we end up getting the win with the level 3 Goblin Shark. Seems like I already had the achievement at that point, but yeah, there were plenty of failed Goblin Shark runs that are still on the cutting room floor.